Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nikki's Diary. I'm currently on day 8 of this fitness journey, this extreme fitness journey. And I haven't really been doing as good as I feel like I should in regard to going to the gym with my diet. I'll do a short preview or review. With my diet, I am still getting protein in. Unfortunately, with the weekend, I usually fall off on the weekend because it's just the weekend. So there's not really a lot of structure. But during the week, I do pretty good. With working out, that's a little questionable because just, I end up getting really sore and I'm old and my back hurts and my knee hurts and I'm starting to lift again. So I've been getting really sore. And I've been getting very, very sore because I went probably a month and a half without lifting. So I lost a lot of muscle mass and a lot of weakness. I'm very surprised at how weak I am, but I'm still doing pretty well with my running. So I didn't lose any endurance in regard to that. Now, day 8. This is around the time when people start to give up or fall off. And I hope whoever is watching this, if you have started your journey, I hope that you do keep going. Being on day 8, this is around the time when I have to kind of reset my brain and tell myself why I'm doing it, what my goal is. Which again, my goal is to get at a certain weight and to have a certain look. I'm wanting to lose my fat and build muscle and tighten up, which can take some time, but I'm wanting to build that foundation now. So when I build my lifestyle, it'll be a lot easier for me. Essentially, it's hard for me to say no to a lot of like good tasty food like cake and fast food, anything that you feel like is quote unquote bad. It was really it was hard for me to turn my head away from those things. And I'm not saying to not eat that stuff just because it builds a very toxic mindset, and that's why I kind of put a quote unquote, because I feel like when we say foods are a bad food, then that's kind of when we get that really bad mindset about food. And then you have a really bad relationship with food, and then it can lead to eating disorders, which I actually developed in college and I still struggle with it today. I can also kind of touch base into that, and I can go into more detail about that in another video. But overall, day 8, it's not too bad. I also want to be very straightforward with how I'm doing this. I've been on this fitness journey for probably almost 2 years now. And those of you that follow me on Instagram, you see that I have tried to lose a lot of weight and kind of get into a smaller frame. But it's been difficult for me. So after about a year, I actually had to talk with my doctor and formulate a plan. And part of that plan is to take a medication. I'm not going to name the medication, but I do take a medication which kind of curbs my appetite. That's another way for me to stay in a deficit. It's not a long-term thing, so it kind of just, the way I describe it is like gastric surgery, but with a pill. You eat less over a short amount of time. So like I've been on this medication for 5 months. When I first started it, it was kind of rocky just because like the doctor wasn't prescribing it and I wasn't getting it on time. So I'm gonna say I've been on it for a good solid like 4 months. It curbs your appetite. When you eat, it kind of puts it in your brain and signals that full sensation. So how much you would eat before taking the medication, from when you take it, you would feel a lot more full than when you probably used to eat. So I eat a lot less than I used to. And I have noticed a lot of changes in regard to that. Like I wasn't on the medication for about a week or so because I didn't pick it up. And even being off of the medication, I still had that sensation of being full. I didn't eat as much because overall, I feel like your stomach is getting smaller. The less you eat, the smaller your stomach gets. I could be wrong. I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor. So, again, if I'm wrong, then let me know. But essentially, my stomach is smaller. So, even when I'm not on the medication, I still am not eating as much as I used to. Obviously, if I was off the medication for a while, that would probably change if I didn't stay on top of it. But this medication is a reason why it's easier for me to not eat as much. Needless to say, I'm still eating food that I enjoy. I am being very mindful of the food that I'm eating just because I want to bring attention to what I am putting into my body. I have to think of the long-term goal and the longevity of being mindful of the food that's going in your body. And I don't think a lot of people notice that. We don't realize, like, when we're snacking on a couple chips here and a couple chips there, I don't think we realize how much we're actually getting in. So being more mindful of that is really helpful. That's part of the reason why I'm so successful with what I'm doing. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I don't have temptation, but it's easier for me now to say it's not worth eating that. I would prefer to eat this. Or you could tell yourself, I'm not going to eat that now, but maybe if I go to the gym or if I do something that I feel would benefit me, I'm going to reward myself with that. Some people may think that's a toxic way of thinking, but I'm kind of agree to disagree on that subject. So day 8 is almost over. Moving on to day 9, I'm going to meal prep. Again, I'm on a high protein diet, quote unquote diet. It's only a diet. And again, I put quotes on quote unquote because calling your meals a diet is, again, a very toxic way of viewing your food. But right now, what I'm doing is definitely a diet because it's not something I'm going to do long term. I might if I enjoy it and if I get good results, then maybe I'll stick with it. But I don't like eating all this protein, to be honest, and it's really hard. I love carbs and I love fruit. I've really decreased how much fruit I eat just because it has a lot of carbs in it. And I'm trying to do a low carb diet. For some reason, it's really hard for me to have a low carb diet. I'm still getting more carbs than I probably should, per my personal trainer, is what I call her. Um, but yeah, high protein, low carb, low fat, focusing on that, getting my 10,000 steps in, which is a lot easier than I thought. 10,000 steps is a lot easier, and you probably do it more than you would think. I finally got my Apple Watch that keeps track of how much I'm walking. I walk at least 6,000 steps at work, and then when I'm at home doing laundry, cleaning, taking a shower, all that stuff, it all adds up. And then also going to the gym, obviously that works too. So this is a very short video. I just wanted to review day 8. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you ask me questions. I'm probably going to review this on day 10 because we'll be approaching that 2-week mark and we'll see how it goes from there. Thank you for joining.